Welcome Ekta to Outlook Speak Out and second Binod Mehta Memorial Lecture. It's absolute pleasure to have you here. But before we start anything, I would like to say that it's a beautiful coincidence that both Outlook and Balaji Films started in the same year, 23 years ago in 1995.
So we actually started in 94, but our first show went on air on 95.
Yeah, the year when your first serial came out, our magazine also came out. So it has been a parallel journey. Absolutely. So, but we have not only felicitating you on this occasion because of your extraordinary achievement towards women empowerment, but also because of our long association. We have had parallel journey with each other.
Thank you.
So to start with, I would like to ask you about this phenomenal journey you have had. What has been, looking back, we would like to take a trip down memory lane to tell us how has been this journey.
It's actually a journey where I'm actually a reluctant producer. I was a couch potato, had nothing to do in life, wasted my childhood, bad in education. I never thought for one day that I'd work or do anything in life. I wanted a job to make 10 grand a month so that I could support my shopping and eating and everything. And then my dad told me you have to do something in your life. You have to work. And I was like, why? And he's like, because if you don't work, I'll get you married. So I was like, oh God, I'm working. I took a job. And then he got this offer to make content for an international company. The international company backed off and no Indian player was buying that content. Now at that time my dad's career was at its absolute low. He had invested 65 lakhs, which is a lot of money in 94, sir, in me. Almost everything he had, and I had almost wasted it because the content was probably very average. I had only 2 lakhs left. And I think forced responsibility makes you responsible. I suddenly started realizing I've wasted my dad's hard-earned money because he believed in me. I mean, I'm really not somebody you should believe in. I'm stupid and I'm a kid and I'm having fun. But with the last 2 lakhs, because I was suddenly, I felt responsible, I made one show and I walked, and earlier my dad arranged a lot of meetings, but everyone didn't take me seriously. You see, at 17, being a girl and being a star kid, I mean, they'd want to launch you, but they won't make you a producer. I mean, producers, like, they expect a certain kind of prototype. I just dropped my pilot with my name at ZTV's office. And I got a call and they said, we want to take your show. And in 15 minutes after seeing my pilot, they approved that pilot and my journey began again. And I realized that was my calling and that was Hum Punch. And that changed my life forever. I think I reluctantly, after which I was completely charged. I found my calling. I was wanting work. I would go stand outside offices, try to get a job. I just knew that this is what I loved, and for me, getting a job, anyone in our industry will tell you, getting a job is a bigger job than doing the job in our industry.
In those days, daughters of some of your father's co-stars, colleagues, they had joined Bollywood and become popular actresses. Karishma Kapoor, Kajol, Raveena Tandon, they had become so big. Didn't this cross ever Did this thought ever cross your mind?
Once a very big film star told me, if you lose weight, I'll cast you in my film. But that was too much of sacrifice. I can't give up food to become a heroine, not my scene. So I was like, I can't do this. I mean, this is not my calling. I think it's quite scary, the pressure star kids have to become star kids. I mean, it's not like, I don't think it's genetic. I didn't have it in my genes. I can't dance like my dad. I can't act to save my life. And I would make a mess of life, and I really didn't think it was my calling. I think at that time people thought it was a curse, but I think it was a blessing in disguise because I knew that I didn't have ready options which were there. If I continued looking and behaving the way I was, I had to do a lot of give up carbs, lose weight, go into dance classes, and it wasn't even my calling. So I knew that I had to be a producer, and That was my calling. I think half of us, why do we do things just because our fathers did it, you know?
You tasted success very early with Hum Panch in 1995, but the real turning point in the television industry, I believe, came with Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi and Kahani Ghar Ghar Ki at the turn of the millennium. Both of your serials went on to have more than 1,500 episodes. Since then,
Nearly
you have had
2,000, sir, for a show called
nearly
Kyunki.
2,000. So you have had many serials which have crossed the 1,000 mark. How difficult has it been to generate content day after day, month after month, year after year?
I don't do anything. I personally think I love my job. It is my passion. And that's why I believe that talent is nothing compared to passion. Passion is all that matters. If you show up at that job every day and you do it every day with sincerity, you do well. Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi started in the year 2000. I had 95 to 2000. Not many people know that I went to many offices to get the chance to make a drama. And hold your breath, people told me, I don't think you can do drama. And I was like, okay, but you've not given me a chance. No, do a comedy for us. I said, but I think I can do drama. I think India would love a drama. And they were like, no. I actually got a chance because one day Rajnikant, the actor, saw me at one of our parties. And out of all the people, he came and sat with me for like 15 minutes. And he was like, what do you want to do in life? I said, get a job. In our industry, it's getting a job. That's the big thing. And no one's giving me a chance to make soaps. And he arranged my meeting with Mr. Maran in South. And I got a non-prime time show which became the #1 show. That show's ratings came because I was writing it in Hindi, sending it to South. It would be shot there, and I would check, even though I didn't understand the language, if all the beats were maintained. I took the ratings of that, and I got my first soap called Ghar Ek Mandir, after which Sameer Nair gave me a chance to make Kyunki. And I think that's what people don't know, that after Hum Panch, I had 6 years of struggle before I got my next soap.
Before your banner became successful, there were many people from Bollywood, big banners. The Chopras had done Mahabharat, Ramanand Sagar had done Ramayan, Sippis had done Bunyad. But after some time, all those banners went away. They are nowhere on the scene. But your banner has survived all these years, past 24 years, 23 years. What has been the formula for success for your banner?
To know that you don't know the formula of success. The first thing you should know is you don't know it. You only know one thing, that the outcome is not in your hands, the journey is. You have to constantly learn and adapt. The same thing people liked last year, they will not like this year. The same thing which was new, interesting, will now be redundant. You have to just constantly adapt, and that I think has been very important for me.
120 television series, 37 movies, 22 web series. You have given a whole new definition to the word prolific. But one thing I have noticed, that you have always constantly reinvented yourself, from television to movies and then to web series. Now we have so many Netflix, Amazon, all these OTT platforms are coming. Do you think television will vanish? Do you think these platforms will spell a doom for that?
I don't think so. You see, television is exactly what we would call family entertainment. That doesn't go. I mean, just because you're having house parties and enjoying clubs and discos, you won't stop celebrating Diwali. I mean, it's like we have different flavors and with different personas that come out when we watch different entertainment. I mean, just like recently we were talking to somebody, I relaunched a show of mine called Kasauti. And I had like 100 people come to me and say, now we need to see Kyunki, but usme aap purani tulsi ko lana. This is the impact of television. I mean, I can do web, I can do films, and I can do TV, but I don't think TV can ever become redundant. I mean, it's what I would call family entertainment.
You have also produced some so-called women-centric movies where actresses play the central roles, and they are doing very well at the box office. Veere the Wedding, Lipstick Under Burqa. What reasons do you think for the success of these movies at the box office?
Because half the population is women. Why do we forget that? I mean, it's a big shock. I mean, it's like, I remember when I first did television, the stories we made. I mean, even though people criticized us for the vamps being, why are women so negative? I said, because it's women who are positive, women who are negative. And the around them, the characters are male because the story is about women. And powerful women came out of television, and I was seeing people watching it. They said, no, but that's because it's coming into their home. We will not walk out of the house to buy a ticket. I said, which world are we living in? There are women out there who want to hear their stories. I mean, this is half the market untapped.
Right.
Forget as a woman, I'm a businesswoman. It's just simple, clear business science. You cannot undermine the power of a Kareena Kapoor saying that she can't get people into the theatre. She can.
Right.
And we saw that.
Maybe one of the reasons this audience is also becoming receptive to such content.
The audience, I think, always was. We undermine the power of our audiences to actually accept things. We don't want to spend on promoting those films because they have women as leads. I think we will make flops even with men, and we'll make flops even with women, but we can't be tarnished because, oh, female-centric films don't do well. It doesn't happen that way. I think it's just, at the time, I feel you have to like, I mean, I just gave Newcomers biggest flop of the year of my career. And it doesn't mean I'll never make a film with Newcomers again, because it's that moment that didn't work, you know.
In recent times, some of the movies starring big stars, superstars, they have not done well compared to smaller cinema, which have been made with small budget and all. Do you think we are heading towards a time when star system will come to an end in the film industry?
I think so. I think with a lot of web platforms like Netflix, so much of exposure of fresher stories is there. So I think very soon we will have people adapt to new stories. Well, I have to say this, I'm on stage and we're talking about content. When I signed a lady who's in this audience, she was one of the 50, and there were many well-known actors who had come to audition. This unknown girl came to audition from Delhi, and everyone asked me what, she's not a well-known actor, and TV at that time was also star-driven, by the way. There were a lot of male stars on television. You had to get a top name. I said, she's wearing a white shirt, she's wearing jeans, she's wearing Western clothes, and you know what, you guys are prototyping her. Why can't a bahu wear jeans? And she gave the audition in jeans, and she looked unbelievably convincing that the whole country will listen to her story. And she's sitting right here in front of me. This girl who walked into Balaji Telefilms, this is my biggest shining example of woman empowerment. When she told me in 2008, मुझे देश के लिए कुछ करना है, I was like, क्या करेगी तू? I said, तुझे और मुझे क्या पता है? She said, हम नहीं करेंगे तो कौन करेगा? हम जब जाते तो लोग हमारी बात सुनते हैं ना, तो हम ही को करना चाहिए. और उसने किया. बॉस इसने किया.
One last question. Any specific goals you have set for yourself in future?
To make a company that creates many more Smriti Iranis. To make women feel happy, safe, productive, to see growth in this company, to have every woman feel that if there is a company out there or a world out there that gives birth to equals, I should be for running that company. Being a female promoter, if I cannot give women the feeling that their ambitions, their dreams, and their sense of growth will come from my company, I don't think I've done my job. No woman can achieve 120 shows, doesn't matter if 120 women don't come out of that company feeling empowered.
Thank you very much, Ekta, for talking to us. It was a pleasure.